In this video, I want to talk about controlling pneumatic components on your robot. And specifically, we'll be working with the PCM by CTRE and talking about actuating single solenoids. So on your robot, you may have pneumatics for controlling, simple mechanisms that either need to actuate in one way and retract in another way. It honestly depends on what mechanism you have, but today we're going to focus on the code-specific integration. So what our team has used in the past is the CTRE PCM, which has all these different channels for you to add your pneumatic components onto, and it even has, and it works with your CAN bus, so you can see it on things like Phoenix Tuner and all that fun stuff. So what we're gonna do is just write code for it. So pneumatics are pretty straightforward. They're either on or they're off, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing in between. So what we're gonna do first is create our solenoid object. So WPI calls it a solenoid. I'll call it a pneumatic or PCM. I'll use those terms interchangeably throughout the video, so no need to get confused there. They all really mean the same thing relatively. So what we do is we make an instance of a solenoid, and we'll call it pneumatic, because why not? And I'm doing this in the intake subsystem, by the way, if you need a place to write it. And we'll make a new solenoid, and it's going to be the pneumatics module type is going to be CTRE PCM. That's what I'm working with. The Rev makes a similar type thing to CTRE PCM as well, but for our team we use the PCM, so I'm going to be focusing on that one today. And then you specify the channel. The channel is just what your pneumatic component is plugged into. So now that you've got that, we can make a set method for our pneumatic. So public void set pneumatic, boolean, I'm gonna call it value, and then do pneumatic.set value. Pretty straightforward. So let's say that we have a pneumatic on our intake, and we want the pneumatic to run while the intake is running. What we can do is inside the initialize, because remember, we only need the pneumatic to actuate once so that it, I guess, quote unquote, retracts in the context of an intake. So what we can do is intake subsystem.set pneumatic, and we'll set that to true. And then when the command is done, let's say we want to retract it. So once we're done with the intake, we want to retract our pneumatic. We can say intake subsystem.set pneumatic false. And that's pretty much it for pneumatics. So it's pretty straightforward. There are other types of pneumatics as well. So you also have something called a double solenoid, which is pretty similar to a single solenoid, but we don't really need to talk about it for this video. All I wanted to show you was how we can actuate pneumatics using the solenoid object. So yeah, that about wraps it up for this video, and thank you for watching.